Yeah, that's good. That's good. We're live, huh?
You want the commissioner to read? We good? For the rest of the show.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Hey, might as well talk about it now, but I'll bring it up. Another great frustration about addresses here in Mesilla, because the address that you gave the meeting I missed on the 3rd or something like that, you gave a business permit for the people that are asking now for a sign plan because they put their sign up too early.
Yeah,
The Pony, whatever it is.
Pony something,
Yeah. And so you showed on that application or on that that project, it said 2309 Calle de Santiago, which is where the front door enters.
And then Guadalupe is the
There isn't a 2309. It's way on the other side of town. And so and of course their business is on the backside of Silver, not assets, but Silver, whatever it is. And that's on Santiago. Or excuse me, that's on Guadalupe. So what they have on the sign of their door, the business, is 2319. So I looked at the building, because in theory, I could see them doing it because it's in the same building, yet it's not facing the same street.
Usually what I did is I copied the previous one. I think I went to Google or something.
Yeah, Google.
It's screwed. It's like they give themselves their own business, their own address, right? So the right way to do it is have the same address as the Calle de Guadalupe, but have A, B, C.
That would probably be better, yeah. Because I look at Juliana's, which is the first one on that building, and the next one is a Silver asset, or not Silver asset, whatever it's called, and so you look on Google again. Usually I look at Google because I want to kind of know the site of, instead of going there, because I'm not supposed to do that. But anyway, I looked at Google and it said for her location, it said both 2309 and 2319, but the building has 2329, which makes a lot of sense because further south where you get to Double Eagle, that's 2355 or something like, and they're reducing as you go north, which makes sense. But the problem with this place is people can't find it if they go to Google. If they go to the web, I didn't go to their website. I don't know if they've updated it, but for a new business. But I go to the website for Silver Assets, it's 2309. Well, they've got on, again, the new business that you guys approved, 231 or 2319. And I'm okay with that. I like your idea of ABC, but it's not any different than on Perion. It's a single building and each one has a different address, but it's on Perion.
Because they're not the same property owners.
Okay, okay.
They're all connected. They're different owners.
So that makes sense from the standpoint of the other building. It's one owner.
It's one owner. So it's almost the same, but it's not like
so
you give it A, B, C, D because it's not the same owner.
Because that was like, what was I worried about? It would seem like for the license. Oh.
We gotta go off of the county
Property. Who the owner is. Yeah. So that makes sense. But what my main concern is, it seems like whenever business, it needs to have the correct address. And it doesn't, because it doesn't exist. Oh, for Santiago, it exists for, but it's
wherever the front door is facing, that's where you're supposed to be doing your address.
Yeah.
Like that building has all one Calle de Guadalupe.
Yeah. Except around.
It needs to be,
so that was my concern is, and especially from the standpoint of you kind of, I don't think it's a problem with that location, but it's I want to make sure that the gross receipt tax is going to the right, for our portion of the gross receipt tax, it's going to the right town. And that's not a problem there because all those are in the same town. Different than our address at our house, it's Las Cruces. So it's kind of like,
I mean,
I know,
it has a different address. The tax, New Mexico tax revenue
right?
has a chart, kind of like a municipal chart of all, where all the taxes
Oh,
belong to what municipality.
oh, good,
So they
good.
have like, we're like 70-1, whatever, and
Yeah.
all those go to the museum.
Okay, good.
So
There's not that
even though
concern.
the addresses says
Yeah.
one thing, and they have their own map.
So
for tax
what would that say about the fire department? They need to make sure they have the right address to go to. They mostly go on the phone. They mostly go on the phone, don't they?
Yeah, that's where Merda has their own map that goes off of I don't know, Merda map. I don't know, the 911 map.
Right.
That,
Right.
They have their own specific map.
Right.
Usually, whenever I gotta give a change of address or
Oh, right.
validation of an address,
Right.
I
Right.
have to email Merda and give them a screenshot of the area so they know,
Yeah.
especially if it's a new address, any adjacent intersections so they can direct first cars.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Just say right. Sometime we're right.
You want your, did you get
I just got the ones from the last one.
from the
I
same?
didn't get the.
There's one more addition, you look at.
Appreciate that.
All
Good, yeah.
right. Hang in there.
Where are you?
I was just surprised.
It's usually.
It's like I said, they say things, we just don't want
Yeah. I knew you signed off. I wanted to.
No, you. Yes. I sign off on every expertise. This will be like doing this. Yes. This is the actual. Oh, the circle.
How are you? You feeling better?
Oh. Right. Oh, really?
Anyway.
This is because this is considered for your.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is just this is just a customer to be able to get around and eat on this side of the kitchen. Yes. But you have that. No. You have a packet? I have a lot of extra ones.
The one, is it a new one?
No, well, I added just the, this is, this one here, whenever I sent out, this application, it didn't have any signatures.
Oh,
Want to make sure
it had it.
is aware that. y'all get, we have one that, we might get to, just a discussion item.
Okay, yeah, there's not much.
Yeah.
We kind of have to be out of the way, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
So it'll have to be, it's gonna have.
Yeah, I have this,
That's gonna have to be a condition. That chimney has to go up.
I had that, Eddie.
Even if this is wood. No, you have to be a.
Oh.
Well, it's way, but usually it's.
We will definitely make sure that.
2 feet above your curb.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta make sure.
So it's 3 foot off of the roof then.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
This is the. Yeah.
That's what I thought we might do.
Oh, yeah. Little petri dishes that run around it.
Hey, it's 5:00.
Okay.
What you dallying around?
The timekeeper.
I am the timekeeper.
You are the timekeeper. Looks like. Mary, you want to join us up here since we're short? So far,
Now, they show up, we just gonna have to, right, why you wanna do it? They show up.
I don't know,
If they show up, what do we do? We put them over there. Or is it just Jerry?
Eric and Martha. I saw her at Michael's yesterday shopping away, so she's in spy then.
yeah, you
That's all decked
like-
up.
I know,
Christmas.
I like it.
I like it when they wait till Thanksgiving. Hmm?
All that stuff wasn't signed on,
But I go all out for decorating.
Oh, yeah?
it wasn't signed on this.
Put up 7 or 8 trees.
Oh. I don't think they worry about that.
Outside?
You mean down here,
Oh,
the signatures
6
here.
of.
On any of
You
that.
wanna- you wanna- that's already on. You wanna
I
get
barely,
on?
when I moved back home, I had no trees.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're at a short schedule today. We got to be out of here by 6 o'clock, right? For the BOT.
5 o'clock, 6 o'clock is BOT, correct?
So this is the meetings that we had to redo our meeting schedule. It was November the 17th, but because of extenuating circumstances, we didn't make that. So it was canceled. So this is the same meeting, but on the 24th of the Planning, Zoning, and Historical Appropriateness Commission. And let's get started with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, Mr. Salazar, if you would determine a roll call for determination of quorum.
Vice Chair Gallegos? Commissioner Miller?
Here.
Mr. Chair Walkinshaw?
Present.
Commissioner Mulvihill? Commissioner Alviar? Commissioner Paz?
Here.
And Commissioner Lucero? Mr. Chair, you do have quorum.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is any changes or approval for the agenda. And that would be just a single approval, right? Oh, no, that's a voted on.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Just need a motion, Mr. Chair.
I move to accept the agenda as printed.
Okay, first motion by Commissioner Miller, second motion by Commissioner Alviar. Ready to vote?
Yes, please.
Commissioner Paz?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Alviar?
Yes.
Commissioner Lucero?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. Now it is time for public input on any of the items under item, or excuse me, under item number 6, which is action and consideration for projects. And you can get up and state,
Okay.
yeah, please state your name and
I'm Richard Moreno's neighbor to the north. My name's Ken Dixon. My wife's name's Terry Melendez. I think you know.
Yeah.
My concern is a couple things. One is the setback from our property wall. I look at, this is a new building. It should be under the building code 15, which is building code 1515, and it states a 5-foot setback from the property line. And that is specifically in the historic zone on the deal. So that's,
excuse me, when you're saying 50, it's actually 1850?
no, it's 15,
Oh, 15.
15 building code,
Okay. Thank you.
15.30 application for building permit.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Under number C, 2, it states, for purposes of the subject, the term substantially within required setback shall mean 5 feet or more in excess of the required setback. The one was quoted in here, this 18,
18, right.
which is historical residential zone. I'm not sure. It does say what it says. It says 3 feet, and if it's fireproof.
Right, right.
But there's a conflict there, and I've got a wall there with a foundation, and I'm worried about drainage. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell because we didn't get any drawings with the package that was published. Where the drainage is going to go, if it goes against the foundation, it's going to weaken that wall. And my wall is a concrete cinder block wall with concrete poured inside the cinder block. So it's a concrete slab.
Right.
Yes. So I've got some concerns about that. The other thing with the 3-foot deal, I'm not familiar with the Ram Durf enough, but they've got to put up forms.
Right.
And they got to, I don't know how wide those forms are going to be for them to have access to actually ram those. And so 3 feet's not very far. And so that's another concern I might have.
Very good.
And sewage and gas sewage and what is going to Calle de Medanos? I didn't know. There was no site plan with sewage or water. There was a floor plan for the building that showed things coming in, but not how they were going to be electrical to that building, because I believe it's junction box. It has to be an underground feed because it's an unattached building. And then he has to have a site plan with drainage, I think, because, he's going to be right up against the curb on Calle de Medanos. Richard, what is it? Less than 10 feet?
I'll get up there and speak.
Yeah. And so those are just some questions I have.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Good evening. Okay, so I wish you would have came to me to talk about this because it's all in the plans. However,
Could you
This is-
state your name?
Richard Moreno, I'm the owner at 2185 Calle de Guadalupe. And what Ken is talking about is the 3 feet. However, I want to go back in the records because this wall that he's talking about, he never got my signature to build that wall. So we need to go back there. You don't have my signature, and I've been the owner since 1986, 96. Yes, it did. Back in the day. No, but the thing is, you don't even have a foot between your garage and my property and the wall. There's no 3 feet there, Ken. So the thing is I want to go back because at this time whenever he purchased the house in 2011, I don't know who he got permission for to put that wall up. Not for me. I was the owner back then. He never got permission from me. You don't have my signature nowhere. No, you don't. Nowhere. Because I was living in California and I specifically told my sister, no. And they went ahead and they built a 6-foot wall without permission from the neighbor. So now we're here at this juncture and we'll settle it, right? We'll settle it however we can. I waited all this time to see what he was going to do and what he was going to say. But now that I want some concession, he's already, you guys can go walk over there and see, he's right up on my property line with his garage that has about 6 inches to his wall, which sits about 4 feet away from my building, from my house. And I wasn't going to say nothing about this until now. And we'll talk about that and we'll take care of it. And who cares if it's cinder block? If it has to be moved, Ken, it will be moved. Okay, I'll guarantee you that. I didn't want to be that neighbor to you, but that's all I have to
Okay,
say.
thank you. Any other comments? Doesn't look like it.
All I can say
What's-
is the city engineer
Yeah.
approved the plans
Okay.
from Navitec Engineering, so.
Well, we'll look into that. We'll look into that. Yeah. All right. Now we're ready for the approval of the consent agenda, which has November 3rd regular meeting minutes, and then two cases. One is 06-2071 at 2319 for the I think it was the building. No, it was for the signs. Yeah, for the signs. And also, well, there's two in that case, 62072, which is another sign. So,
Need a motion, Mr. Chair?
yeah, motion.
Have a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
First motion by Commissioner Alvear, second motion by Commissioner Paz. Any discussion?
I do. Do any of you have discussion? Okay. I know I wasn't at the meeting on the 3rd, but because of the two projects that are coming up, well, the meeting of the 3rd covered at those two locations. At one location, 2319 Calle de Santiago, is it was for their business plan, I believe, on the 3rd.
It was for the actual licensing. This is just for the signage.
I know that, but what I'm getting at is I want to make a correction because there is no such address as 2319 Santiago. That new business, where they're asking for signs, is fronting Santiago, but the address should be because it's on the back of it's in the same building that's on Guadalupe. So there's a complication there. What I believe makes sense is we need to have a business license, and when we have cases, at the right address and not 2319. So I'd like to get that corrected. That doesn't really solve some of the issues about the addresses, but it makes this accurate as far as having it in the minutes. So
Got
that's
it.
what I propose.
Would you like to go ahead and vote on it, or would you like to postpone it till the addresses get fixed, or how would you like to proceed with that?
Yeah. It's going to be probably a long time before the addresses will get fixed. But the address on their business and where the signs are being proposed, which are already in there, is 2319. So Juliana, which is in the same building, she's 23. If you look up on Google, and Google, if you follow Google a lot of times, you're going to get lost sometimes because it says her address is 22 addresses, 2309, 2319, and then the business address that's actually on the building is 2329. So it's like, I don't know how to really fix that. So,
Can we
Yeah.
just move ahead, but
Yeah.
add a condition or at least a statement of concern regarding the accuracy of, because I just used my phone to look it up and I saw that it was there but not there.
Yeah,
It's on
It's
a,
a little, it's close
Sure.
but not accurate.
yeah, I think that because it's the same building, I don't know, maybe they had maybe more than one building at one time. It was 2309, 2319, and 2329. But like I was mentioning to Mr. Cherry Walkinshaw, is ideally the right way to do that is A, B, and C, when if it's the same owner and the same building, but it wasn't established that way, right? So now, in order to change that, we would have to I don't know, change all the records or change whatever building goes in there. I don't know how the building looks like. Is there any separation walls in there, or there like interacting walls in between? So I'll definitely look at it. I'll definitely look at it and then see what's the best option. Ideally, again, the best option would be A, B, C, and D on the same building, providing it's the same owner. Now, like we talked about, the other one on Calle de Paria, it's the same building, but they're totally different owners, so you can't give it A, B, and C, and D, so.
okay.
But if you would like, I would make sure verify that that address is correct if we want to consider moving forward on it.
We have some more comments.
I have a question. So if that's the case, if they're trying to changes the addresses for people.
Well, legally is whenever it comes to property taxes and legal for parcel numbers and stuff like that, the town of Mesilla issue those licenses. But whenever somehow either the post office or Google gets involved, whenever they fill out their business licenses here through the state or whatever, they write whatever address they write down, and that's the address that it's assigned through Google. So really, Google is not really a legal way of having your addresses assigned to you. It's whatever the municipality ultimately assigns you.
So the fancy pony didn't, is just going by what they know that that's their address.
That was previously a business there are businesses that were there before in the past. They've been using the same address.
Yeah, they didn't change the number on the top of the door.
That we're still approving for that, for the fancy pony.
Correct.
Whatever address they are.
Correct.
So we can proceed with that until the address eventually gets changed, whoever has to do that. But if
Yeah.
you're gonna wait for the address to change, these people aren't
Yeah.
starting
Yeah.
their business.
Now,
They're already started. Well, no, I think what I'm hearing you say, and I really think that's the good route to go. I would recommend that is to go ahead and just leave it the way it is on 20 for that address, 2319 Guadalupe, because that's how they show up. And that's how their business license should probably be stated until we can get something fixed if it needs to be fixed later on.
Okay.
So if you guys agree with that, I'd like to, well, you have a comment.
So I noticed that they only have 2 applications for sign. There is a third sign on the building farther closer to the jewelry store. Is that going to come down or did the ordinance change? Because I know you guys have been working on that.
Yeah, no, that's coming soon, but no, the signage amendment consideration is probably going to come, not this meeting on the 1st, but probably the one following after. So right now, we are still considering under the ordinance that we have now, which only allows 2. If she has a third one, then I'll get with codes and let her know.
Right underneath the
Is
silver.
it going to change though? I mean,
It depends on, really right now, our focus in the future for signage that we talked about is going to be based on, we're going to take it by zones. And right now, our needs is in the commercial zone, the general commercial zone. So we're going to concentrate on signage only on that one. The historic residential or historic commercial, really, it's big. It's something that's going to take us some time to do just that in itself. So we want to treat that one in its own. So right now, we're doing commercial zoning coming up. My suggestion anyway, to work on that so we can move forward on some of these cases. So again, the motion to approve with the condition that the address is looked at and it is being proposed it to remain 2319 Calle de San Guadalupe as it states in the Doña Ana County legal address. Now, if they need to change it, then they need to go through the process of the changing of the addresses for that.
And so you would also go and change in all the minutes from last, but also in the agenda. That we got.
Well, I can just include in our minutes that the address, just like we're talking about now, so we don't have to, 'cause that's already been approved.
Sound reasonable?
Sound good?
Well, we're gonna get to that. Oh, no, we're already in it right now. So just a little note, but it doesn't really, I agree that it's supposed to have two signs, and now they have three signs. Yeah, they have the hanging sign and then the wall sign, and then the other. But just for information is the issue, and Silver also has a sign right above the small sign. And I think that's part of the issue is because we got our addresses wrong. People are having trouble finding them. So that's why they put that sign on the corner. Yeah, it is three signs.
Yeah, but either way, there's three, but there needs to be two. There needs to be two. We'll correct the address until we say, until the commission and the board trustee says otherwise.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'll go take a look at it.
Okay. So, so that would be, sounds like that would be the condition of.
Again, we're talking on the consent agenda. I think if we want to focus more on these signs, we need to pull them out of the consent. Consent agenda typically is for yes or no. But if you want to discuss more about them, I think we need to pull them on the agenda and put them on our actions and consideration.
So do I have a motion to do that from the commission?
I move to pull PZHAC case 062071 and 072 out of the consent agenda and address them under action and consideration. Second.
Okay, first motion to pull out of the consent by Commissioner Miller, second by Commissioner Alvear. I'll go ahead and take a vote on that. Commissioner Paz,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Alvear,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucero. Mr. Chair, motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. So we are down to.
Action and
It kind of
consideration.
depends on the order we want to put this in.
Well, if you go off by number, 062067.
So now we're addressing under action and consideration, PZ case number 062071, which is the 2119, Calle de Guadalupe, not Santiago, submitted by Fancy Pony Beauty and Boutique, requesting approval to install projecting sign in its own HC. So I need a motion to address this.
I make a motion for approval for case number 062071, submitted by the Fancy Pony.
Okay, so Mr. Chair, first, give me a minute, second. So the concern about this signage on both of them basically really is the address and the amount of signs they have on the business, correct?
Correct.
All right, so I think we discussed, I think if I'm clear, understanding is that the address needs to be consistent with the one on Calle de Guadalupe and the one that's listed on the Doña Ana County for
Yes.
this business, and make sure it reflects on the business license and anywhere throughout after that. As far as the signage, there's a sign in the corner, I believe, is being mentioned of Calle de Santiago by the cannabis, the old where it used to be old cannabis, maybe right there.
No, it's right there, right under the silver. See, silver assets.
Silver Assets has a small sign there, and then they're.
Right there at the
Or is it a plaque or something? Or
It's actually on the facing of Santiago.
is it like a directory sign?
No, it's just a silver.
You can actually.
Okay, so there can only be two. So I'll look to see there's only two signs, and obviously they need to take one down if it's if it's there too many. Any other discussion on this case? No,
We're ready for a vote.
ready for a vote. Okay. Commissioner Paz,
Yes.
with conditions, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes, with conditions.
Commissioner Alvear,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucero.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, motion passes 4-0.
Okay, thank you. All right. So we're now down to P and Z case 062067 at 2185 Calle de Guadalupe, submitted by Richard Marino, I'm sorry, requesting approval to construct an auxiliary building on their property, and it's zoned HR.
I move to accept PCHNC case 062067.
Second.
Okay, first motion by Commissioner Miller, second motion by Commissioner Alvear. This is case number 062067. The address is 2185 Calle de Guadalupe, submitted by Richard Moreno, requesting approval to construct an accessory building or a building accessory to the primary residence, unattached, on the property. The zone is considered to be historical residential. Mr. Moreno is requesting approval to construct a ramped earth structure, approximately 450 feet. The structure will be constructed by earthing ingenuity. Sorry. Mr. Moreno needs a place to care for his brother. He is currently caring for him at his residence, but recently he has required his brother to be more and more wheelchair bound, and is struggling due to his home is not ADA constructed. Instead of remodeling his home, he is looking to build a small casita on his property. The plans and designs have been reviewed by a review party to include historic specialist Liana Aguirre. She included some information regarding the request. Mr. Moreno's site plan shows a 3-foot setback on the north and side boundary lines. According to Mesilla Town Code, Development Standards 1835-060, Section B, canopies and accessory structures in the rear yard shall not be more than 50% of the required area and can be set back 3 feet from the side of the rear yards, if they are made of fire-resistant materials. Any temporary structures can be set back 3 feet from the side or rear yards if they are made with fire-resistant materials as well. Departmental comments, a workshop has been scheduled, or was going to be scheduled, as I mentioned in the email. Are you guys okay with me hearing it? This thing keeps squeaking. I'm not trying to talk too loud. I don't know why it's squealing today. They probably turned it up in this one.
That looks better.
It was scheduled, but again, due to there was only going to be one case today, and not having to have an extra hour on top of that, we are discussing this case during this special meeting. Mesilla Town Code 1810 definitions defines a guest house to be an accessory to the primary residence and not to be rented / business. It shall also not exceed 600 square feet. A guest house is an attached or detached unit used as an accessory building to the primary single-family home, not rented out, otherwise conducted as a business. A guest house shall not exceed 600 square feet outside dimensions. Structure is constructed of ramped earth, should be considered to be a fire-resistant material to meet the 3 feet requirements. Small windows facing the property line will need to be constructed with fire-resistant glass as allowed by the fire and the building code. Supporting information, applications, ramped earth, satellite pictures, street views, elevations, site plans, floor plans, electrical plans, plumbing, foundation plan, and wall sections have been submitted as well. I want to address some of the comments that was made earlier during public comment. The 5-foot setback, I believe there was a confusion with that. Let me get it straight from code.
Okay, thank you.
The 5-foot setback is required by code in section 1515 if you are suggesting or requesting to build a structure within 5 feet. And it needs to be engineer stamped. Okay, that is the only time that a request, it talks about a 5-foot setback. If you're proposing to put a building close enough to your setback within 5 feet, we need to have a plat survey or a property plat to show us where the boundary lines is, so that way we know exactly where that building is going to sit compared to the edge of the property line, because it's too close, right? We don't want to, and the applicant is aware of that, right? Is aware that a property plat is required, and it is mentioned here in our code. But his thought that, like many other cases, he is willing to get that property plat if approved, right? I mean, it don't make sense that they go out and pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for his property plat if he's not going to get it approved to be able to do that. So I am sure that if that is a requirement or necessary, that he is happy to do so. So I'm getting here closer. It says 1515, our building codes.
30C.
And see, they said the one that he read was 1551-0110C. Is that what he read? There's no mention of 5-foot setback there, but I'll read it anyway. It says the Mexico Building Code is hereby adopted by the town for the purpose of prescribing regulations governing erections, constructions, enlargements, alterations, repairs, removal, change of use, demolition, occupancy, use, height, area, and maintenance of buildings or structures, and providing for the issuance of permits and collections of fees, and providing penalties for violations thereof. New Mexico Building Code is hereby adopted and incorporated as set in full, except to the section of NMBC relating to building permits, which fees shall be established in accordance with 1515-040. Basically, what it's talking about is just adopting the building code that Mr. Maesa goes off of whenever he goes to an inspection. If I want to see, it says here, it says 1515-030 application for building permit. It says procedures. Any person desire to construct any residence or business or other structures in the town or to make any alterations or improve to existing buildings or structures shall make a written application on the prescribed form being used by the town of Mesilla to the Community Development Department of the town, specifying the nature of the work being proposed, its location, and proposed costs of the same. No excavations or clearing of land before construction will be permitted without having first obtained a building permit. And then it gives you an explanation of the three types of building permits. The very first one is an administrative approval permit, historic zone or commercial zone permit, or a non-historic zone permit. So 1B is the one that we will fall under. Moving after that, administrative approvals, we're not going to go through that because that does not fall under that section. Application is submitted with plans, with plans, site plan, and other requirements such as, but not limited to, plot plan or site plan showing the dimensions of the lot line, the buildings, and the locations of the buildings upon the lot. The drawing or plat shall be prepared by a certified, registered New Mexico surveyor or engineer for the building permit applications for additions to existing residential structures or auxiliary structures thereto, which can be readily verified by the building officials as being substantially within the required setback outside easements areas. The building official may waive the survey requirement and allow the applicant to prepare the drawings containing all information required under this subsection. For the purpose of this subsection, the term substantially within the required setbacks shall mean 5 feet or more in excess or required setbacks. The drawing shall contain notification indicating the proposed use of all lands and buildings. And again, it goes through the foundation, the floor plans, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So all the ones that are listed here, with the exception of the property plat, have been submitted and they're in front of you. What the public comment, the gentleman was saying is that, the town requires 5-foot setback. It doesn't require a 5-foot setback. The 5 foot substantially within 5 feet, it will require a plat survey, which was not submitted. And we understand, the applicant understands that upon approval, the condition would be for him to go out and make sure the survey is done so he knows exactly where the property plat is at.
Okay. And also you mentioned the 3-foot issue versus 5 feet if it's non-flammable material.
Yes, the setback required for the historic residential zone is 7 feet.
Right.
Okay, 7 feet all the way around. Now, it is mentioned on your board action form, the Mesilla Town Code 1835-060B, and we can reference that. I think I listed it right on there. Canopies and accessory buildings in the rear yard should not be more than 50% of the required area and can be set back 3 feet from the side or rear yards if they are made of fire-resistant material. Any temporary structures, the same, can be within 3 feet. I believe the fire chief and building inspector has deemed a rammed earth to be fire-resistant material with the condition that the windows facing that property line be made out of fire-resistant material as well. As I mentioned, I did turn in the application with all the signatures that were all signed off on it. Again, meeting their requirement, their expectations.
Right.
Any other questions?
Well, I know the gentleman that got up first talked about drainage concerns, but I understand, and it says right here on our sheet, is that it's not required, a drainage plan is not required in HR.
Correct. There are some circumstances that a drainage plan would be considered depending on the situation. And I believe Mr. Maesa, I would like Mr. Maesa to come up and maybe talk a little bit more explicit about that. But I mean, I'm sure that the county has drainage requirements for residential use as well, but for certain elaborate, like if you're 3/4 of an acre or more, you got to have, and if you're, yeah, exactly. If your development on your property is more than 40%, just like the way it says, if it would have, I think it says 40% has got to be undeveloped on the property. Right now, the house and the proposed casita being built down there doesn't hit 40%, right? So if it would have hit 40%, maybe we would impose a drainage plan due to, the development being above 40%, but it's not. So I'd like Mr. Maesa to come up here and talk a little bit more about that.
I have a quick question before that.
Okay.
So the plot or whatever.
Property plat?
Property plat
Mhm.
survey, what is the worst case scenario? We approve it and the plot, is it just to determine where exactly it's at, but it's already 3 feet from where it's supposed to be, correct?
Correct.
So the reason to do that is just to make sure that it's that way.
Correct.
That's it.
Just to make sure where to start measuring from, in case there's any dispute between neighbors or anything like that, or if there's no structures, if there's a fence or a wall already there, this goes into property laws. I'm not even very familiar, but I do know that a certain amount of time that becomes your property line if it's been sitting there for a long time, right? So again, I mean, these are all civil things that come up between neighbors that really we don't have the purview to be discussing those kind of, because that's not our expertise.
So given that, since we're talking about it, would you be able to go back and, I mean, the other building next to him, which that owner is, he apparently his building doesn't meet the setbacks. So, I mean, it probably doesn't. I guess what I'm asking is, should we actually be concerned about it? It's more of a civil issue. We just need to look at what's on the property line.
Correct. Well, so I don't know. I mean, my recommendation is something that's been there for years, right? And I don't know why. Everything has their own condition. Everything. Maybe there was something. Maybe there wasn't. We don't know. We can just appeal with what the request is being in front of us. Now, if they want to open up a different set of case with the code enforcement or even with the commission, they're more than happy to bring that up at a different time. But for now, I think we need to concentrate on this.
Thank you. Then my questions. Any other questions?
Now, I might be wrong, but I mean, that's just what I think. Mr. Maesa.
All right.
Commissioners, go back a little bit and talk about the drainage issue first off. In regards to the drainage issue, Mr. Salazar is correct in his comment about the size of lot versus how much drainage is needed, how many structures are on the property. And a lot of it too, remember, has to deal with commercial. And when it's commercial, we want to make sure that we maintain that water without flooding the streets as much as possible. Now, there are other municipalities that will tell you that based on their zoning codes, they are required to have ponding, on-site ponding. That's going to be up to you guys to decide, because I don't think it is in Messia's zoning requirements that it must be a mandatory thing. If it is mandatory, then all these jobs that we've been improving as far as construction would have to had a drainage calculation submitted along with their plans. Okay, so that's kind of doesn't pertain. as far as the way the house is going to be drained, that's going to be up to the building inspector to make that determination when he's out there doing his inspections. If it does require gutters and downspouts, we will make sure that that is done to make sure that we keep it away from the property lines and we keep it away from the house itself.
Right.
And that's going to be a judgment call as the discretion of the inspector once construction starts. As far as the required setbacks, when it does come to my office for a building permit approval, we will request that there be some kind of a site plan associated with those building plans. And we require that so that when my inspectors go out to do their foundation inspections or any type of inspection, that we have a reference to go off of. If there is an encroachment, whether it be on this property or the neighbor's property, if there is some type of encroachment, that becomes a civil matter. And as long as the applicant is fulfilling his obligation to build according to what he has submitted and make sure that he's meeting his setback requirements, then it's going to be a civil matter between the two property owners. Okay. We have had that happen in the past, and we're not going to get into the civil matter portion of it. So that becomes up to them, how they want to settle that. In regards to the building side, as far as the fire protection, the building code does allow you to build within 3 foot or 5 foot of the property line with the understanding that the materials being used will be fire resistant, that if you do have any openings, that those openings be fire protected as far as glazing or doors or anything like that. And since this house does have it is Spanish style, there is a parapet. So the roof, the parapet is now protecting the roof. So the roof will not have to be fire protected or fire rated because it has that parapet on the outside wall protecting it. So the building concept has made consideration for that fire protection. And at this point, based on our reviews, we don't see that is a problem.
Yeah, getting back to if you address back to the drainage issues, I didn't see, I see on plan sheet 8 of 8, it shows where the vigas are, and it shows them kind of slope from the middle. So my assumption is and that's a front view of the upper left-hand corner of that sheet. That's a front view of, as I understand, that's the front door. Maybe I'm not right on that, but it seems like, it looks like, if that's the case, it looks like it's draining. Here's the building here, it's draining. It's not draining to the back of.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No. The applicant has tried to make sure that they keep all the water to the front side and away from the property lines. So again, the roof design, as far as the vigas, have been done so that they do drain the water away from those areas of concern.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? I did have, you don't mind stand up, we talked about it a little bit before. The venting for the Horno. And I kind of misread that because most Hornos I've seen around are around structure. And so I think, and they're pointing it at around, it's what, 3.5 diameter. So it's confusing to me that it's that big, but maybe it's a misnomer about where they put the arrow for the Orno. The Orno's in front.
Yes.
Is that right?
So in reality, what they're noting is that they have allowed enough room around to be able to walk around or get a wheelchair around it and not be confined to the front, the side, or anything. So you do have room to work around. That is what they're trying to denote by having that circle there.
And I guess the other part of that is it doesn't show on any of the plans what the venting is going to be made out of and how high it's going to go above the roof and all that. So
So that's because the fact that you have different styles that you can buy now. You can have one that's already pre-made for the most part. You can build your own, just like you would a fireplace,
right.
Or what am I thinking?
For a stove or something like that.
Yeah. So when we go out to do our inspections, we're going to inspect it based on what's being submitted. And what we're going to require from the applicant or from the contractor is to provide us documentation as to whether this is a factory built unit, and all it is to be pieced together, make sure that the parts are fire resistant and do maintain a fire resistancy as they go through the roof.
Right.
Or they're going to show us how they plan on building it. And there are specific methods on how it's supposed to be built so that the fire draws properly and you're not going to get smoked out inside. So these are items that will be looked at during the construction process. A lot of times it's not shown on here because maybe they don't know what they're going to use yet. So we're going to require that as the inspection agency, we will require that information during construction.
Okay, good. Thank you. I guess, Mr. Salazar, that does bring up another question for myself and also for the commission is the only thing we're really interested in is the outside of the building. And so I'd like to know whether we, based on what just what Tom said, is it would seem like I would like to see what kind of chimney it's going to be. In other words, it could be just a double-walled metal chimney with a cap on it and a vent for keeping sparks from getting out of there. But it could also be a round structure. They'll do it in Adobe or whatever. And so I'm wondering if that has to be part of our condition as far as.
It could be. I mean, the applicant is here also. I mean, you might want to ask him, maybe he may be able to answer that today and say what kind of chimney he's proposing to put up.
Okay.
So whatever you want to come up.
Yeah, I think like
Come up first.
I'm Raul Esparza. I'm the owner of Earthling Ingenuity, the contractor.
All right.
And so what we're proposing is based on like Eddie was saying, depending on the product we're going to use, if, this double walled stovepipe secured through the rafters and the proper cap if we need on the top, that's what we were thinking. Because, I still don't know what he's going to choose as far as the stove inside the unit.
Right.
But we will follow protocol when it comes to,
Very good. Okay. Thank you.
Can I add a little bit? Too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to apologize for earlier. Historical trauma gets the best of you sometime. Just for some history on who I am and how long we've been in Mesilla. My grandmother has been there since 1900 at that property, that whole block. And my mother was born there in 1928. I was born there in 1967. And these neighbors move in and they think that they can just encroach and what have you. And I've stayed quiet because it's really none of my business. As long as they're leaving me alone, I'm fine. But what really upset me about Ken is that he couldn't have the gall to go knock on my door and ask me what we had, because we paid a lot of money for these plans. And I would have gladly invited him in for some Indian coffee and some fry bread, because we made it yesterday. That's when he said he found out about this, and I would have kindly explained to him everything. But for him to come here and blindside me here at this commission, I'm sorry, but that's it. Indian warfare. He wants war. That's what he's going to get, because we've been quiet for too long. I'm related to half of the people here in Mesilla. My cousin sits right here, right in front of me, right? And the thing is that we've never asked for a lot of stuff. We've just been quiet. We've done what we needed to do with that property. We've taken care of our families there. My brother has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. He's Down syndrome. And I know because I took care of my mom with Alzheimer's, and I cannot retrofit the house that we live in now because I'd have to take down some important structure that is historic to us, to our, those are our settlement homes. We were granted that land by the government. Those are our settlement homes, and that house has never been touched. It's in the same format that it was when my grandmother, my grandfather carried the mud from the river to make those adobes and the whole 9 yards, and a door here and a window there was retrofitted. But other than that, and no one out of our family has ever lived in that home. Oh, there was a parrot lady. We rented it out to a lady with parrots one time, and that was the only outside person from the tribe or from us. I'm the lieutenant governor for our tribe. I have decorum. I'm a school teacher. I teach at Arrowhead. I'm a science teacher. So for Ken to come up here and do this to me today, unconscionable to do that. That's cold. That's some cold stuff to have to deal with. And I know for a fact that he's encroaching because his garage is 6 inches from his wall, which is 6 inches from my property line, which is 3 inches from my house. So, or 3 feet. So, you know, he opened the Pandora's box, and that's what it is. But anyhow, I just want to give you some insight on who we are. I just didn't buy that house 10 years ago. I didn't move from Texas here with money, oil money, and I didn't move here from North Carolina with money from whatever. We're from here. We're born and raised here. We're Mesieros. We're Native American. We're Piro Manso Tiwa. We are the people of this land here. And that's what I wanted to let you guys know. And I take care of my property. Since I've been back, I've made a ton of improvements to it, aesthetically, spiritually, the whole 9 yards. That house is intact now. We're back to where our ancestors, the way they had it. And that's my pride and joy. And my mom left me in charge of those 2 homes. The house next door is ours also. Little Fawn is my cousin. That's our home. Those are our settlement homes. We have the well still. We have everything there intact. And so the only thing I'm asking for the commission and for the board of trustees later is to allow us or allow me to be able to take care of my brother in a dignified way. The orno is important because we use it for ceremony. It has to be inside the home. Because it's ceremonial, and this is the passage of my brother as he passes into his transition time. We're going to use that orno for that, and those were the traditional ways of our people. And that's why we want to put it inside the kitchen. Food and healing comes from that orno, and that's what we intend to use it for. So I'm not trying to build a museum. Okay, I didn't arrive here in 1953 trying to build museums. I'm here because that house has been intact. We had an orno outside. We had the kiva outside. We had a lot of stuff in the outside, and eventually it just all went away. And I'm back. I'm the steward for the family, and I'm back to bring all of our tradition back to that home. That's where my ancestors lived, and that's where their spirits are at this evening as we speak. And that's the importance of this project. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here tonight. I just think about it, 126 years, and I've been here maybe like 10 times to ask for permission to do stuff. Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. What else? Oh, it was also brought up about where the sewer line's going to go and connect to the town services and also the water and electrical. So that's something you're going to probably address in CID, or no?
That's environmental. Mr. Chair, Commissioners, when it comes to utility hookups to the street, that comes under the Public Works Department for the city. All that has been pre-approved. There isn't going to be anything as far as solid or liquid waste that's being disposed of on site or anything like that. It'll all be hooked up to the main utility lines. So there shouldn't be any problem as far as how it's connected. They already have maps as to where the connections are going to be. Those were done through the city staff. So it's not like they're just going to go in there and start hooking up to anything. As far as if they used the on-site well for domestic use, as long as they hook up to a public sewer system, they're within their boundaries to be able to do that. So,
and same thing with the EPE would. It's, as I understand it, they don't want to go overhead into a building. They probably go underground. Would that be accurate, or?
That's going to be, again, based on the town of Macia's ordinances as to whether they have to go underground or overhead. if the zoning requirements say that everything should be underground, then that's what they're gonna have
I
to
think
do.
that's a preference as far as.
But that's something that we won't know at this time until EPE goes out and does an assessment and presents that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
I can clarify that for you. I'm the electrician and I redid his electrical,
Right.
and he was forward thinking. So when we installed the existing service that he has on the property now, we installed a 200 amp panel thinking that we would add 100 amps. Yes, sir. So we've got all that covered. Yes, sir. And all the other utilities, I'm very familiar with the property, so I know where exactly all the connections are going to entail. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Any other, yeah.
I just have a general question. I don't remember these kind of questions coming up before. Is it our purview to determine drains and electrical connections and chimney styles?
Typically it's with the commission's permission, is reasons why we have experts with signatures is for them to give us those signatures. Whenever you have a concerned citizen or a neighbor of such, then the discussion becomes a little bit more elaborate, right? Just to meet those to hopefully bring some kind of peace between both of them, even though it's a civil matter. We want to, on record, state that we understand those concerns, but these are the concerns. But typically, no, as long as they're signed, fire, things, that's just my understanding, but the commission and the board of trustees might have a different opinion on that.
Any other questions? I think.
And we do have about 5 more minutes before
I know.
6 o'clock.
Actually have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Or 2.
So, yeah, we need a vote.
Ready for a vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Commissioner Paz?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Alvear?
Yes.
And Commissioner Lucero?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, motion passes 4-0.
All right, thank you. Now we're to commissioners and staff comments, if there are any.
I think we skip 062072? We only did 71, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we need to do the other one. If I can get a motion to approve.
Motion for approval of case 0672.
Okay.
Tony Boutique.
Yeah. Second?
Second?
Okay, if there's any discussion on it?
No.
Because we talked
Go
about
ahead.
it already, just a matter of just
Yeah.
taking the vote, right? Okay, so Commissioner Alvear?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Alvear?
Yes.
And Commissioner Lucero?
Yes.
With those conditions, correct.
Very good.
Okay, motion passes 4-0 with those conditions.
All right, very good.
I know, you
Commissioner
forgot
Paz,
me.
You said me twice. You forgot Commissioner Paz, you said me twice. On the last-
Really?
2 votes.
Yeah, but it's okay. It passed.
It passes. It passes.
My apologies, okay. And the next item discussion is, we would postpone, take a vote on this fairly quickly, so can I get a motion to postpone the discussion item?
Yes.
Yes.
Somebody?
Postpone the next, the nuisance statement.
Second.
Okay, first motion by Commissioner Alvear, second by Commissioner Paz. Ready to vote, Commissioner Paz?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Alvear?
Yes.
And Commissioner Lucero? Motion passes, Mr. Chair, 4-0.
Thank you. Now we're ready for commissioners' comments. Staff comments. Is there already?
I don't have any other than the board trustees be right behind us, so I'm sure if commission's okay, we will adjourn, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 4-0 adjourn. Where are you going? Do you want to stay for the real food?
I've been dealing with problems since 6 o'clock this morning, man. I'm gonna go home.
All right, well, you have one for me, man.
I'll see you later.
I think we do. Just kind of.
It's not showing us.